but the first few days the pain was excruciating. No one told me about this. I had to learn. I had to learn from the experience of it all. And one of the things that also helped was I had my mom to speak with about it. And, she was the one who sort of told me that it will get better with time. You know, eventually it did get better with time because I was taking some measures recommended by my doctor at the time. With my second child, it was easier for me to deal with and manage because I obviously understood, the healing process, and I had things put in place to make me feel better or to actually manage the pain better. So with my second, it was definitely okay. But with my first, it was a big issue, it was a big challenge. No one told me about it. I had to learn from the experience of it. So yes, that's another thing that, you have to deal with postpartum. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Abby. If you're just joining me for the first time, I'd like to say thank you and welcome. And I hope you consider subscribing by clicking the subscribe button down below. And when you do, please do not forget to turn on the notification bell beside the subscribe button. That way you get notified whenever there's a video on this channel, and there'll be new videos every week. And if you're part of the family already, if you're a subscriber, thank you very much for coming, and thanks for your support as well. So today we'll be talking about postpartum issues that not a lot of people talk about. Yes. Yeah. So a couple of things that I experienced after I had my babies. I have 2 kids, by the way. A couple of things that I experienced, and I had to actually learn through the experience because no one told me about these issues. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is postpartum depression. Yes, postpartum depression is real. It exists. It's not a myth. It's not a joke. It's not being dramatic or being extra. It actually is something that exists, and it's something that a lot of women go through without realizing that that is what they're dealing with. Now, for me, I've had 2 kids. Now, for my first, after I had my first child, I actually didn't realize what I was dealing with was postpartum depression. I was usually very cranky and emotional. I was crying about everything. I was really anxious about everything. I just wasn't feeling myself. I knew something was off, but I couldn't place it. I couldn't figure it out. I just knew I was not okay, so to speak. And one of the things that helped me was I was part of an online platform then that right from pregnancy up until delivery and now postpartum. So I went on there and I went to the forums. I actually realized then that what I was dealing with was postpartum depression, and there were a couple of recommendations as to what could help you feel better. Now, for me, what worked was music. I was always listening to music, so that helped, put me in a positive mind frame. And after a while, I was back to my normal self. I was able to deal with my emotions a lot better. Because I had experienced that with my first pregnancy, I had mentally prepared myself with my second child. So for my second child, one of the things that I didn't have to deal with was postpartum depression, because I had equipped myself mentally. I had prayed. I had sort of worked on my mind frame. I knew obviously what I was up to now. I knew what I was doing the second time. I wasn't, nothing was new to me, so I was better equipped. But as a first time mom, it was something that I had to deal with, and eventually I overcame it. The second postpartum issue is pelvic pain. You will still continue to experience pelvic pain after having your baby. And this is because a lot of pressure has been put on your pelvic when you were pregnant carrying the child. So it probably take a while for you to stop feeling that pressure. So you will be feeling some pain on and off. For me, after having both of my babies, I think it took about a month to 2 before the pelvic pain completely went away. But I had no idea that I was still going to carry on after pregnancy, especially, with my first. It was very shocking for me, but yes, it's something that a lot of women tend to deal with after having the babies. The next postpartum issue is after birth contractions. Yes. Definitely nothing as painful as the contractions you experience during delivery of your baby, but the odds are that you will still be feeling contractions after your baby, and this is because your womb is going to be contracting back to its original size it was prior to pregnancy, and that comes with a lot of pressure. So you might feel pressure or you might feel some pain when that happens. I mean, it's not something that is going to happen the entire day. You might have bouts of it on certain days throughout the day for a window, for a period of time. However long is peculiar, really. I can't quite say for me how long it took, but I know that it probably was like a week or two. But for my first pregnancy, it was quite painful. With my second, I guess maybe because I was an OG, with my second, as much pain. My first, it was painful. I didn't know what it was. I had to ask my doctor, who then explained to me, that it was my womb contracting back to normal, and I just had to wait it out till it was gone, and that was exactly what happened. After a while, I stopped experiencing it. Now, the next postpartum issue is postpartum body change. This for me was very tough and very challenging. I mean, I realized that you're not going to snap back immediately after having your baby. Your stomach has expanded from carrying your baby or your babies. So I knew that it was going to take a while for me to get my body back. However, the stark realization of the changes was something that was a struggle for me. Seeing how much my stomach has expanded, seeing the stretch marks on my stomach, on my thighs, it just completely freaked me out. You will have engorged breasts because you need to breastfeed and all of that, and the odds are that after breastfeeding your baby, your boobs might sag, and for me that wasn't something that I was prepared to deal with. Now, one thing that's going to help is self-confidence. It's not the easiest thing in the world to look at yourself in the mirror and realize that your body has completely changed. But it's very possible for you to get back to what your body was prior to pregnancy, with diets, with exercises and all of that. But most importantly, love yourself, love your skin, love your body regardless of the changes. Be self-confident and you will be fine. You will get through it. Another issue is postpartum hair loss. For me, this was really major, especially with my first child. I had no idea that my hair loss at the time had anything to do with, me just having had a baby. I just noticed that my hair was falling out and I was wondering what in the world is going on. And it was something that I really struggled with because I was really attached to my hair at the time. And for me, I'd rather cut my hair than watch my hair fall off. Period. That's the kind of person that I am, or that's the kind of person that I was at the time. So it was really hard for me to take in. It was really hard and challenging for me to take in because I loved my hair. So I spoke to my doctor at the time, and my doctor said, look, this is something that most women deal with. It's just most of the time it boils down to hormonal imbalances and all of that. Eventually, it will stop. However long it's going to take is what could not be ascertained. And yes, it was something that I had to deal with, which actually eventually led to me cutting my hair, but that story for another day. So yes, postpartum hair loss is something that you might have to deal with after having your baby. Another postpartum issue is the healing process after having had your baby. If you had your baby through a cesarean section, you obviously need time for your stitch to heal. And if you had your baby through your vagina, then if you had an episiotomy done, or if you had a tear and you had to get stitches, you will definitely need time for that to heal. Now, for me, for my first child, I had an episiotomy. For my second child, I had a slight tear, so I had to get stitches done both times. Now, particularly for my first, what I was not prepared for was the healing period. I had no idea how long it was going to take. I completely was not even prepared for the episiotomy in the first place. So the healing process completely freaked me out. And it took a long time for my stitches to actually completely heal. I had no idea how torturous the pain could possibly be, especially the first few days after my baby. The pain got better with time, but the first few days the pain was excruciating. No one told me about this. I had to learn. I had to learn from the experience of it all. And one of the things that also helped was I had my mom to speak with about it, and she was the one who sort of told me that it will get better with time. Eventually it did get better with time because I was taking some measures recommended by my doctor at the time. With my second child, it was easier for me to deal with and manage because I obviously understood, the healing process, and I had things put in place to make me feel better or to actually manage the pain better. So with my second, it was definitely okay. But with my first, it was a big issue, it was a big challenge. No one told me about it. I had to learn from the experience of it. So yes, that's another thing that, you have to deal with postpartum. And another postpartum issue is actually the entire hormonal imbalance of it all. You had some hormones in your body that actually aided, your pregnancy days and all of that. Now you're no longer pregnant. It's going to actually take a while for these hormones to balance. And it's like a raging war, honestly, in your mind, in your body. It takes a while, definitely, for you to actually get your period back. You're lactating, you're breastfeeding, so you have hormones in your body actually causing your body to lactate. So it's a lot of things in your body that you have to deal with, and a lot of times you might feel really exhausted. You might just feel really anxious, you might feel really tired, and perhaps even sad about the entire experience, because sometimes you just feel like you're fed up, you've had enough, you can't even deal with it. As a mom of two, having experienced all of these things that I just spoken about, I want to assure you that it will get better with time. The most important thing is having a fantastic support system around you, people that you can talk to whenever you feel overwhelmed, whenever you feel tired or fatigued. And I'm sure that you'll be fine and you get through it. And looking on the bright side, you have a baby to show for all of this. I hope this video has been helpful. I hope you've learned a thing or more. Do not forget to like, do not forget to comment, do not forget to subscribe as well. And also do not forget to share with anyone that you think this video will be useful to. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for your support, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.